Well, I am not afraid to look like an idiot. I'm not afraid to look like an idiot is a quote by Anthony Bourdain, and it's a quote that strikes me every time I hear it. Only because when I stumble across it, it reminds me to try something new. And if you stumble and open doors to creativity and originality, it will be the biggest risk and the best reward you could possibly take. I picked the quote as I've always been inspired by Anthony Bourdain in shows like Parts Unknown or No Reservations. And along with, besides creative differences, I had to say it's also part of my own personal struggles of feeling the need to prove that I am smart. I'm still learning that it's okay to make mistakes and that nobody is perfect. And that isn't the goal anyways. And lately, to not be afraid of looking like an idiot is also how to make yourself feel good about yourself and not make yourself feel comfortable and get out of your own comfort zone, such as photographing myself or even filming myself. I don't like to be in front of a camera all the time, but it's easy to say. You'll step out of it once you actually do it, and it's something else entirely, which is easier said than done. And still taking action is still one of the best and rewarding things that you can possibly do, and I can't stress this enough. So that is one of the next steps to take when trying to not be afraid of looking like an idiot. And breaking out of my comfort zone isn't that easy, which is like a big requirement to not look like an idiot. But I try to challenge myself in small little ways, that whether it's planning a small trip or ask a stranger if I could photograph their dog, out of a random one day on a 7-hour drive with one of my friends just for I thought would be lunch, but it turned out to be dinner. And I never planned to go out there that day, and it is still one of my favorite photos that I'd ever taken back from 20. And that is something that you had to make yourself uncomfortable to see that growth. Not to make you actually uncomfortable, but just to make you feel more inspired and challenged. And sometimes to not be afraid of looking like an idiot is the best way to actually grow creatively. And I don't mean that in a self-depreciating way. I remind myself that I'm learning just like everybody else. We're all figuring things out step by step, mistake by mistake. Such as, this is another anecdote of mine actually, where I don't like to take many photos at night. It's not my strongest point at all. I've always been terrible at taking night photos. And a few of my favorite ones I've ever taken at night have been a little weekend trip I took to Chicago, and then one when I was walking around Tokyo, I think it might have been Shinjuku or Shibuya, I can't remember, where it's probably my first night in Tokyo. And that's why it matters that I keep showing up, I keep experimenting, and I keep pushing forward in my creative journey. And why I say that it's okay to look like an idiot, and don't be afraid of it. You have to embrace it, because it's how we all start. No one begins as an expert. We stumble, we mess up, we learn from looking like an idiot. It just means we're trying, and trying is always better than just standing still and not doing it and just let it pass you by. I obviously am okay with looking like an idiot, especially when it means stepping out of my comfort zone, when it means trying to not prove myself to others about something I can't prove. And because of every awkward moment, every misstep, and every risk I take is becoming a more honest, a more creative, and a more real version of myself. And that's why it's okay to not know. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to look like an idiot. And if you'd like to see more of these videos, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Hope to see you again soon. Thank you and have a wonderful day.